Good evening, everyone. Hello, Daniel. I see you've gotten here early. Welcome, everyone that's here. Today we have biology, maths, physics, as you probably know. I'm very cold today, so I might have to put my coat on a little bit. My coat that's behind me, that the only thing that glows up. But I've got a question to ask everyone today. First, exactly, Daniel. Is a burger a sandwich? I want to get people's opinions on whether they think a burger is a sandwich. I think while you guys work out that, I'm gonna grab my coat because I am very cold. No, a burger is not. Why is it not a sandwich? Because if I got two pieces of bread, like two regular, and just put a burger in between it, the meat, surely that would be a sandwich. That would be like a beef sandwich. You see what I mean? But you don't believe it's a burger. You don't believe it's a sandwich. Because at what point does the sandwich stop and the burger begin? That is the that is the question of today. Oh, there it is. You see what I mean? Anyone else got any opinions on this? Or is it just Daniel? There's a straight adamant no. So I would say a burger is a sandwich, but a sandwich uses a different kind of. Well, because I use a brioche bun in my burger. That stops it from being a sandwich. I don't know. Because a sandwich, I'm pretty sure it's just two pieces of bread and then a filling in between it. And isn't that just what a burger is? No, because a burger has different bread and a burger has a bun. Is that it? Is it? I don't know. Because I think on the most basic level, it could be a subsection of sandwich. But so if you got a regular burger, took off the bun and replaced it with just sandwich bread, is that then a sandwich? Or is it still a burger? Or if you swap the bread from a bun to be like a bagel bread, is that still a burger? You put fillings in a burger that you don't put in a sandwich, so that would taste nasty. Yeah, then it's a sandwich, okay. No, lettuce, tomatoes, that's pretty normal in a sandwich. But it'd be weird to put a patty in a sandwich. Yeah, it'd be quite a beefy sandwich. I'm glad I can get you guys thinking about whether something is a sandwich or a burger. But then if you use bagel bread in your burger, what is it then? Is it then a bagel? Or is it closer to a burger? Hello, Umaya. We're talking about whether a burger is a sandwich or not. I mean, if you go to McDonald's, you can get those super thin, like when they give you a burger, it is like two pieces of bread and the thinnest piece of meat ever. So, hello Umaya, hello Amelia. I didn't enjoy it at all. Yeah, I mean. I've never had a burger with a bagel bun, so everyone's reconnecting. Oh, now I'm too warm. There's no middle ground with this coat. It has been ages. You're right. What is the proverb? Is that Team Rocket? Is that what I'm seeing? It's very small for me. I don't know what I'm looking at. Do I know Genshin? I do know of Genshin. I've had a sandwich with a bagel bun. It tasted horrible. It is Team Rocket. I had a sandwich with bagel bun. It tasted. So what you say? So Daniel, you just have a problem with bagel. You just have a problem with the idea of a bagel. Yes, it's a video character instead of James. I see. I don't know enough about Genshin Impact, but it's too expensive for me to play. Good, you guys are mental. My friends are super into Genshin Impact because they're excited about their characters and their little slot machine. Although I'm pretty sure Genshin Impact's going to be like completely reworked soon because the whole gambling thing as part of that game is going to be banned in China. So the Genshin Impact you love may no longer exist for much longer. So I think because everyone's starting to pile in, I'll get a video from Arnold going. Yeah. So I'll get a video from Arnold going and we can reconvene.
Hey, and welcome to today's Study Safari session. So good that you're all here and you're ready and you're willing to learn on the skills that you need in order for you to be able to move up in your studies. Right, so the first thing that we're going to be covering today, or I guess really the only thing that we're going to be covering today, is rest. Now, for many people, they think, do you know what, that's a bit weird. Why is it that we would be covering rest? What's that got to do with anything? But rest is a vital part of your studies. If you don't rest well, then you're not going to be able to do well in your exam. So why don't we get stuck in? Let's get started. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be looking at the secret power of rest and what it offers us, right? The impacts that it has on us. Right, let's imagine, I don't know if any of you played Sims, but the currency in Sims was called simoleons, all right? And imagine if you had 1,000 simoleons. In fact, let's just call it pounds, right? Let's imagine that you had 1,000 pounds in a savings pot that you can have every day, and you can use that money to buy intelligence, you can use it to buy fitness, you can use it to buy more money, you can use it to buy better mental health, right? You can do that. Now, imagine this, okay? Every hour you lose £20. So literally, no matter what you do, every hour you lose £20. Everything you can do every evening, you can do something to replenish how much money you get tomorrow. For example, if you watch TV shows, that's going to add a little bit of money back into your savings pot. If you spend time with friends, that might add a little bit of money into your savings pot. If you maybe spend some time doing some art, that might add a little bit of money into your savings pot. Doing some sports as well, maybe. Now, you can never get more than £1,000. So every evening you can replenish it, but it won't go above £1,000. And then also, if you don't replenish it properly, you may start with less tomorrow. All right. So even if you don't do what you need to do to replenish the £1,000, you're going to start off with less tomorrow. So you might start off with 800 tomorrow. What would you do? See, ultimately, I imagine that you would spend as much as you can today and then do what you can in the evening to make sure that you have £1,000 tomorrow. That's the plan, right? Spend as much as you can today because it's not coming back. So you got to do what you can in the evening to get your £1,000 tomorrow. Now, the pounds or the simoleons, whatever, that represents the amount of energy / motivation you have for each day. The evening activities are restful activities to give yourself as much energy for tomorrow. Now, you spend as much money as you can in the day and do what you need to do to bring it back tomorrow. So why is it that we're talking about this anyway? Well, firstly, you're learning this so that you may reduce stress and anxiety. We want to make you as productive and effective as possible. And then we want to help you enjoy learning. That's why you're learning this, to help you enjoy learning and to avoid burnout. So rest is incredibly valuable. What is rest? Why don't you right now in the chat just put in what you think rest is? If you could define rest, how would you define it? What would you call rest? Now, the main kind of definition of rest is actually the renewing of depleted physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional reserves. That's what rest is. And the reasons why we rest ultimately is we want to make our tomorrow more than or just as effective as today. We want tomorrow to be just as good as today was or better than how today was. So sometimes you need to slow down. Tonight you need to slow down in order for you to be able to speed up tomorrow. You can't be running on full revs the whole day. It just doesn't work like that. You have to slow down tonight so that you can speed up tomorrow. Now, these are the consequences of not resting. Well, firstly, you struggle to remember what you're learning. Your confidence goes down, thinking that it's too hard to learn. You lose motivation to work. You're easily distracted. You don't reach your goal. And then what happens when you rest? Well, when you rest, you're definitely more alert. You're more aware of what's going on. You have greater confidence. You feel ready for work. You have increased focus. You remember the content easier and you remember it quicker, right? That's what we're trying to do in the Study Safari, to help you remember the content easier and quicker. So how do you best rest? Well, the first thing that you can do is get the circle of joy, all right? In fact, I'm just going to get it up and I'm going to show you what the circle of joy is, all right? Now, the circle of joy is you draw a circle in your book, and then once you've drawn that circle, you split it into segments. I think there's 7 segments here. It doesn't really matter how many you do more than 5 or more, and split it into segments and write down things that truly give you rest. You don't have to fill in every single segment. Just write down the things that you can think of that truly give you rest. So you've got TV show, perhaps maybe football, maybe time with friends, right? That might be something that gives you rest. So for you that are listening, how confident are you about your learning? How confident would you say, actually, do you know what? I'm really learning. My learning is effective and efficient. I'm getting a lot done. I remember content easier and so on. Would you say that you're motivated to study? Would you say that you feel like you've got the motivation to study? And what are some examples of restful activities? What are things that you would put in your circle of joy? And are you able to create your circle of joy? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it back to the host, and the host will take it from there. So over to you, host.
No, it's weird that Amaya just came in and then just left. We'll see when they come back. Ryan, I was asking everyone else, but if you want to answer my question, is a burger a sandwich?
Tom, once again,
I know it's quite
an absolute pivotal question on which our whole universe is founded. So I do love it. What is your take?
Well, we were talking about this earlier. A sandwich, in theory, is just bread, a filling, and then bread.
Sure. A
burger is bread, the filling, which is the burger, and then the bread.
But I don't know. Would I call would I call like a bacon butty a sandwich? It's different because it's in a roll. So
isn't that just a bacon sandwich?
When I think sandwich, I think flat bread. You know, slices of bread.
Yeah.
Like a big roll is like a sub, or like a small roll, a butty. Not sure.
Yeah, like, but in theory, it's just bread filling bread. And
yeah, no, I mean,
burger,
I'm mostly playing devil's advocate. I think I'd agree. Burger is a sandwich.
In your burger, if you swap the bun for bagel bread, is it more of a sandwich then, or is it still closer to a burger?
I think you just broke my brain. I don't know. I'm gonna make a bagel burger, and then I'll get back to you. I'll tell you if it felt like a burger or a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a sandwich donut at that point.
Oh god.
What are they saying? Guys who say a burger isn't a sandwich are very stupid in my opinion, says Joshua. Why are you lying?
Wow.
I mean, we shouldn't consume it like a sandwich. It's unhealthy, whereas a sandwich is a quick snack that people eat for lunch daily. Rather, a burger is unhealthy.
Fair enough. That's a good point. I have sandwiches every day at work for lunch. If I had a burger every day for lunch, I'd have cholesterol out the wazoo.
Yeah. But you just mean the meat part, right?
But that's the filling. That's what I choose to put in. God. I might have to cancel the lesson and just think.
Take up philosophy.
But of course, I am joking. I will never cancel my lesson. We must do biology.
Okay. I don't know if we're ready to start. If we want to do some biology.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Bread. I don't know what's more important right now.
Honestly, the bread chat is more important, but we got to do what we got to do, and I want to get paid. So let's do the lesson.
Wait, the burger was found in Hamburg and the sandwich was found in England. I think someone dug up the ground, found a sandwich, and was like, "Oh, what a find!"
We found a sandwich ore. Let's mine it for everything it's got.
All right, okay. I'll drop out then. Hopefully everything will get back on track now. But...
Yes. Focus up. No more sandwich talk. Let's do biology talk. So I'm going to start off with a couple questions to get us started, and then we're going to finish off talking about the endocrine system and move on to blood glucose levels, which is closely linked, obviously, to the endocrine system, as I'm sure you guys know. But for now, let's just power on through. So let me share my screen and let's do a couple questions. I tried to find some exam questions as well, but I couldn't find any that I liked that would be quick enough for us to do and still do a lesson. So maybe we'll do a whole lesson of exam type questions when we finish this whole topic, or probably more likely they'll be in the monthly sort of paper that Bright Teach releases. So you will get some time practicing some hormone, nervous system, homeostasis sort of exam style questions very soon. But for now, let's move on. Right, so we're going to play 50-50, nice and easy. You've got two choices. So the first one uses chemical signals as the basis of communication around the body. Is that the nervous system or is that the endocrine system? Nice, easy one to start us off. Nervous system or endocrine system, which one uses chemical signals as the basis of communication around the body? Chuck your answers on the chat. Let's go. Oh, wow. Sorry, it just updated and suddenly loads of messages came through. Nervous system or endocrine system? Your eyes hurt because I've used light turquoise as the answer, because that was maybe not the smartest choice. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, let's get a couple more answers in, guys. There are 19 of you on today. I want to see a couple more answers, and then we'll have a look. Come on, Chuck, you're on. It's 50-50. Everyone should have a go, have a guess, even if you're not sure. It's literally, you've got a 50% chance of getting it right. So even if you don't know, have a guess. Two more answers. I want two more answers, and then I will reveal it. There, we got one more. One more left. Thank you, Ashna, for moving us along. Someone else, one answer, and then we can have a look. Amazing. Thank you, Rain. Love it. So let's have a look. Which one uses chemical signals as the basis of communication around the body? It is the endocrine system. And I'm just going to go ahead and change that to blue. So a nicer color, so everyone can actually see it. The endocrine system. So nervous system uses electrical impulses through our nerves. We send electricity through it. Endocrine uses chemical signals called hormones, and we use that in our blood to get around the body and communicate, obviously produced by glands, and it goes through the blood to wherever it needs to be. The hormones only work in specific areas, so we can sort of send them that way, and until they get to that area, they're useless. Once they get there, they trigger the response in the effectors. So it's really useful. It's a lot, obviously, what we were talking about last week. So endocrine system is the chemical one. Nervous system, electric impulses. All right, next question. The pancreas produces and releases glucagon or thyroxine. Have your guess. 50-50, guess. The pancreas produces and releases glucagon or thyroxine. Which one? The pancreas. Chuck your answers on the chat. Chuck your answers on the chat. Chuck your answers on the chat. I'm having fun. Even if you guys aren't, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my time. All right, let's get a couple more. Glucagon or thyroxine is produced by the pancreas. Which one is it? I want three more answers on the chat before I go reveal the real answer. That didn't rhyme. I thought it might rhyme, but my brain couldn't think fast enough. So that's where we are. Come on, guys. Three more answers on the chat. We can do this. It's 50-50. Loads of you answered the last one that haven't answered this one. Have a go. The pancreas produces and releases glucagon or thyroxine. I do not mind if you get it wrong. We're here to learn. So chuck your answers on, even if you're not sure. And we need three more before we move on. I'll wait here all day if I have to. Come on, guys. Even more people have joined since the last question. We're now on 23. Shouldn't be hard to get three more responses. Glucagon or thyroxine? Which one is produced in the pancreas? Produced and released. Thank you, Saif. Oh my God, I thought I was going to have to be here all day. Well, it seems like no one else is gonna chuck on, which is a real shame. But Lee is getting impatient, so we'll move on. And you're absolutely correct. It is glucagon. Glucagon is produced in the pancreas. What other hormone is produced in the pancreas? It works in the opposite way as glucagon. What is the other hormone that is released in the pancreas? I appreciate what you were trying to do, Lee. I would, in theory, like more other people to respond, but I appreciate it nonetheless. What other hormone is produced in the pancreas that works in the complete opposite way as glucagon? Yeah, awesome. It's insulin. So glucagon and insulin are produced in the pancreas, and they work opposite each other. And we'll talk all about that, I'm sure, when we get to blood glucose and our next little topic. All right, next question, 50-50. Which one causes a longer lasting effect? I did not need a comma. A longer lasting effect. Which one? Is it nerves or hormones? So both of these are our nervous system, endocrine system. There are communications. I've spelt that wrong, have I? I forgot the N. Yeah. Which one causes a longer lasting effect? Is it nerves or is it hormones? So these are our communication systems. We need to coordinate a response to a certain stimuli. Which response will last longer in our body? Will it be nervous system, nerves, or hormones? Loving the responses. Let's get a couple more if we can. Daniel and Lee, stop. It doesn't seem like we're getting any more. You're all absolutely correct. It's the hormones. The hormones cause a longer lasting effect, okay? So the nerves tend to cause quite rapid responses. They're things like muscle movements, reflexes, stuff like that. Our longer lasting effects are things like adrenaline that get our heart racing and insulin, which brings down our blood glucose levels, and they take longer time. They have a longer lasting effect. And it also means they are slower to get to where they need to be because they're going through the blood rather than through the nerves, which is electrical impulses, rapid stuff. But they can stay in our system longer and cause that effect to happen longer, which it can be really useful for some things and really not useful for other things. So that's why we have both forms of communication, both systems. And my last question, I believe, progesterone is produced and released in the pituitary gland, or the ovaries. Which one? Progesterone is produced and released in the pit gland or the ovaries? Oh. Big yawn. Oh, big stretch. Oh, body's aching. Been a long week. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait for tomorrow to be over and it be the weekend. This week has felt long, but it is Friday soon, which is good. Come on, guys. Pit gland or the ovaries? Which one produces and releases progesterone? Pit gland or ovaries? Let's get a couple more answers, guys. Ovaries, ovaries, ovaries. Got 3, 4 for ovaries, 2 for pit gland. Let's get a couple more. So it's 4-2 at the moment. Pit gland, ovaries to pit gland. Let's get a couple more. Come on, guys. I don't want to spend all lesson doing these questions, so let's get a couple more answers, please. Use the chat. Let me know you're out there and alive and listening and getting involved. It's super important that you get involved. Otherwise, what's the point of being here? You're paying for this. Use it. All right. Well, it's been 3 minutes since anyone's responded. So I'll take that as everyone who was going to respond has responded. So let's go through it. And the answer is ovaries. The ovaries produce progesterone. They release progesterone. They also produce and release estrogen as well. So yeah, well done to all of you who said ovaries. For those of you who had said pit gland, don't worry. Remember that now. You've made that mistake. You can remember that. And that is all the questions I had. So let's move on with what we're doing today, which is talking more specifically about the roles of adrenaline and thyroxine. So adrenaline, as someone said earlier, thyroxine is produced in the thyroid gland. Well done, whoever said that. Absolutely fantastic. This is the thyroid gland. And adrenaline is produced nice and easy. These ones are the fairly easy ones, are sort of named after their hormone, or probably vice versa. But yeah, we got adrenaline and adrenal gland. So let's talk about what adrenaline actually does. And someone last lesson talked about fight or flight. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, it was that fight or flight response that is caused by the adrenaline. So when we're frightened, excited, angry, any one of these emotions, our adrenal gland starts secreting the adrenaline, just starts secreting it, chucking it in our blood, and it travels all around, and it acts at several target organs and tissues, preparing our body for action. And so when our body is prepared for fight or flight situation, our breathing rate increases so we can take in more oxygen and undergo more respiration, giving us more energy for whether we are going to run or fight our way out of this danger. Our pupils dilate, increasing our visual sensitivity to movement. So we are like hypersensitive to movement, watching out for things that might attack us or be chasing us or exciting us or whatever. Our body hair stands upright, and this makes animals look bigger to an enemy. So this is probably not really us. as much as it is other mammals, but that body hair, maybe some of you have dogs. My dog at home, my parents' dog, I should say, it has, I don't know what it's called, but at the back of, at the sort of back of their neck, all my dog's hairs stand up when they see another dog. It's to make them look bigger and scarier and more threatening. Even though my dog's doing it just because she's excited to see another dog, it can scare owners because they do look more threatening. The hairs go up on the sort of haunches of their front legs. Really cool, really quite scary looking. Very cool. And our mental awareness increases as well, so we can react faster. So if something's coming at us, we can make decisions quicker. So this is all really important for that fight or flight response. Whether we're going to fight our way out or run away, whatever it is, we need all these things to help. More oxygen for respiration, more energy, our pupils dilate so we can take in more stimulus, and our mental awareness increases so we can react faster to that stimulus. And body hairs stand upright. This tends to more be a thing for other mammals, but it does happen to us, but it will make us look larger to an enemy, which is more threatening, more scary, and less likely to pick on something if it looks bigger. And now let's talk about thyroxine. So we talked a lot about negative feedback actually through our communication systems. We did it with nervous system, and we did it when we were talking about thermoregulatory system as well. It's that sort of lead-in. If I get it up, where was it? Temperature control, I think was the last time we talked about it. This sort of something being too high causes the response, brings it down, and it can lead nicely back into this where it's too low now, so it causes a response, brings it back up, and this sort of negative feedback constantly going into the other one that keeps us in that sort of regular mindset, that regular homeostasis comes from this like negative feedback, one going into the other and vice versa. And this controls our levels of hormones in the blood as well. So when the body detects that level of a substance has gone above or below the normal level, it triggers a response to bring it back to normal again. So if there's too much adrenaline in our body, then we stop, something changes, we stop producing it until it goes down to too low, then we produce it again, so it's too high, too low, and it keeps us in that happy medium. That is what we mean. And this happens for all our hormones as well, insulin, glucagon as well. They're cool because they are antagonists. They work against each other to do separate goals. Now, metabolism is regulated by thyroxine. I asked last time and loads of you remembered this, but metabolism is the sum of all the chemical reactions that happen in our body. So our metabolic rate is the sum of the rate of all our chemical reactions. So if some are going slower than others, it brings down our basic metabolism rate. If they're working really fast, then it brings up our metabolism rate. And thyroxine regulates our metabolism. It's released in the thyroid gland, as we said. It regulates the basic metabolic rate when the body is at rest. So crucially, this is when we are not in that fight or flight instinct sort of way where everything's going haywire because of adrenaline. This is when we're just sitting down, listening to a boring chat about hormones from a very, very handsome teacher. But so when you're resting at home, listening to me, your basic metabolic rate is regulated by thyroxine. It also helps in the synthesis of proteins for growth and development. So proteins obviously very vital in those things, and this helps synthesize it. Thyroxine is released in response to thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, which is released You guessed it, in the pit gland. Pit gland, the mother of all glands. It does most of the big ones. And so if the pit gland or whatever sort of receives a signal that there is an issue, we need more thyroxine in our blood, then the pit gland will produce lots of this thyroid stimulating hormone. This will come down to the thyroid. It will stimulate the thyroid, as it says in the name, and cause it to release more thyroxine. And again, there's a negative feedback system which keeps the thyroxine in the blood at the correct level. So these two hormones, the thyroxine stimulating hormone will stop being produced when there's enough thyroxine in. So the thyroid will stop producing as much thyroxine, and then when it gets too low, thyroid stimulating hormone will be released again. Stimulate the thyroid, more thyroxine will be released again. And that was so hard to say. Oh my gosh, my tongue got twisted. Ooh. The secretion of the thyroid stimulating hormone stops when the level is too high. That's what I was just saying. Yeah. So it looks a lot like this. We got our blood thyroxine level. We want it to be at this normal level. When it gets too high, we stop releasing TSH. The amount of thyroxine drops. When it's detected that it's dropped too far, TSH is released again, and it brings it back up, and it keeps it around this normal level. Classic negative feedback. Any questions on how adrenaline works, what it does, or thyroxine? Any questions on anything we just covered on this? How do you feel about that? Chuck on the chat about the whole endocrine system. So what we've covered today, what we covered last lesson, 1 being I didn't get anything about the endocrine system at all, 2 being yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it, 3 being absolutely fantastic. Ryan, your teaching is impeccable. No wonder you got the nickname Mr. Pencil, the highest honor there could be. Chuck it on the chat. How are you feeling? 1, 2, or 3? 1, I didn't get it at all. 2, kind of got it. 3 being, yeah, absolutely fine. The whole of the endocrine system. Just want to get an idea of how you guys are feeling about it. Only 3 people have any feelings about what I've been teaching over the last day. I can't believe you guys use the chat for so much rubbish, but then when I ask you just to get involved in a question where all you have to do is press 1 key on your keyboard, you can't do it. Thank you, Joshua. At that point, you could probably just say 3, right? That's pretty close. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 2s. It is a complicated system. There are a lot of complicated words, and the meaning of said words. So I'm not surprised. Let me just. What am I doing? Let's go here. I'm not going to go through it anymore. I'm going to move on. But for those of you who are on 2s. Go back through this on your own time, especially this table. You need to learn all of this table, what's produced where and what they do. I've been looking through, as I said, I looked through some exam questions, and there were actually a lot more about these top 3 hormones than I realized. They're really common in exam questions. So have a read through, understand what these do, and watch the video if you're still confused. But for those of you who aren't feeling super confident on a 3, go back through it on your own time. We're gonna move on to blood glucose for the last 10 or so minutes. So blood glucose levels. Controlling these, we have insulin and glucagon. As we know, they are produced in the pancreas. And they control how much blood is present in the blood. Our blood glucose levels. Nice and easy. When we eat, the absorption of glucose happens in the small intestine. That's important to remember. That is the organ where the glucose absorption happens. Glucose doesn't directly end up in our blood. It first gets to our liver, where the glucose level is controlled. And what controls this is coming up, but it will first go to our liver. So we don't dissolve in the small intestine and then put it straight in the blood, and that's where our glucose is just pinging around. It goes straight to our liver, and then the liver's like, all right, let's control how much of this we're getting and what we do with it. So what depends on how much glucose gets through into the blood at the liver will be the metabolic reaction of our cells removing glucose from the blood. So if another word for that is respiration. If there's loads of respiration happening, like we're undergoing exercise or something, then we will put more glucose into our blood. If we're heavy exercise is, what I just said. Excess glucose from our food can be stored as glycogen in our liver and our blood, and the level of glucose in the blood should be maintained. So if we're doing loads of exercise, the liver won't let as much glucose into the blood. If we're just at rest, if we're not using a lot of glucose, then it will be stored as glycogen, and it will store in our liver, in our muscles. It's vital. It's a really great place to keep it around our muscles, because then it can be quickly broken down for respiration if we need it. So when we're at rest, we can store it near our muscles, near our liver, and then when suddenly we start doing exercise, we can start breaking that back down into glucose for respiration. We want to keep our levels of glucose maintained. Classic homeostasis stuff. I don't need to tell you this. All the homeostasis is basically just the body being like, we like the body like this. We want to keep it as close to this all of the time. Every time it wavers slightly from this, we need to get it back to where it was. Where we are is perfect. Don't want to change from that. That's what homeostasis is all about. The glucose level is monitored and controlled by the pancreas, as we know. When there is more glucose than needed, the extra glucose converted into glycogen, as we said, and this uses the hormone insulin. So insulin is what we release in the pancreas when our blood glucose is too high. When our blood glucose is too low and we need to break down glycogen back into glucose for respiration or whatever purposes we need, it's going to be respiration, we use glucagon. So those were our two hormones we were talking about before. Has anyone here heard of or even has diabetes, type 1 or type 2? Anyone heard of diabetes? Anyone know someone with diabetes? Anyone have it themselves, either type 1 or type 2? Let me know, chuck it in the chat. And if you know someone who has diabetes, which one do they have? Do you know that? Heard of both? Cool, that's a good start. Everyone thinks they're immune to diabetes till it happens. I'm not sure that's even true. I'm just making stuff up. Yes, I've heard of it, and my nan has diabetes. Right, do you know if it's type 1 or type 2, Amelia? Your granddad has type 2. You can get type 2 at this age. Type 1 is common in kids. Get symptoms of type 1, but I don't have it. Really? Wow. Fantastic. A lot of people do think that diabetes certainly is linked to obesity, but it's a bit unfair to say that people with diabetes are all obese, or that the way to not get diabetes is to just be like not obese. So you can't say stuff like that, Joshua. It's more complicated than that, like all things in the body. No worries, Amelia. I was just wondering. That's cool. Type 1. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So a lot of people know about it. A lot of people are affected with it. If we were in America right now doing this lesson, I feel like a lot more people would get involved because of the way their food is regulated. They tend to get more diabetes because they have restrictions on certain sugars, but they don't have restrictions on certain other sugars like fructose. High fructose corn syrup and things like that can be used in a lot of products, and it's really bad for you. And they just have no regulations about it because America's a cool place. Anyway, I won't get into it. So, diabetes. A lot of you may have heard of the two types. A lot of you, as I see, know people that are affected, but some of you might not actually know the difference. I, for one, get confused all the time. So this is really useful for me to go back over it so I understand. But I learned about this and I still get confused. When someone says they have type 1 or type 2, I'm like, I have no clue what that means. But type 1 is a condition where the pancreas can produce very little to no insulin at all. So this is an issue with the pancreas. If this causes blood sugar levels to rise to dangerous levels, the person could die. Obviously, not great. So if our pancreas isn't producing insulin, or it's not producing enough, it cannot regulate the blood glucose levels, and if they get too high, this can be really dangerous. Essentially what they're saying. A patient with type 1 diabetes needs to have insulin therapy. So they need to take one or to several insulin injections to stop their blood glucose level reaching life-threatening levels. So they have to constantly be aware and monitor their glucose levels because they don't have a pancreas that does that for them. They need to control and monitor it themselves, putting in injections of insulin directly into themselves whenever it's necessary. And the amount of insulin needed depends on the diet, physical activity, and stuff like that. They will have to keep a close eye on what they eat and what they do exercise-wise. It seems like a horrible way of living. Luckily for people without diabetes, such as myself, I don't have to worry about anything. I can eat a whole bag of Smarties and not die, or not even think about it, really. So it seems like a really rough way of living, and it's not, having to constantly monitor anything is just boring. It's get an organ to do it for you, But some. Anyway, apart from taking insulin, they also need to limit the intake of food, of simple carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are like sugars, not things like bread. They're complex. Think of simple carbohydrates are just sugars. And they also have to regulate their exercise, know how much they're doing to get rid of excess glucose. Because if you're constantly putting in insulin instead of exercising, it can cause our next type of diabetes. But I won't go on to that now. I will actually end it there because we are at our time, and you guys have been absolutely fab today. Really good. Love the engagement on the chat. Some too much of not important stuff, but loads of you getting involved in the questions at the beginning. Love to see it. Fantastic. You've actually been great all week for me. I don't know about Will, but you guys have been responding to everything really well, really quickly. Love to see it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Will, do you want to come on up? I see you smiling at us. Yeah.
What's up?
There we go. What's
How's
up?
it going?
Indeed. Will, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked everyone else. Is a burger a sandwich?
Damn. That's
Tom.
I think that's just ruined my brain. Actually,
Good.
I think it's ruined. I've got no answer. In fact, I've less.
I-
Not
I-
that bad. Was it yes or no?
I-
So it's a.
Yeah.
I'm,
you have
I'm,
to
refu- I'm refusing.
You can't. No.
This goes against my deepest
So
moral
no.
beliefs.
So a burger is not a sandwich, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say it's a sandwich. I wouldn't say it's a sandwich. I understand if you say it is, but I'm saying it's
Okay,
not.
so he did have an answer. He did have an opinion underneath all that.
he was just scared of the backlash, I think.
I'm
Yeah.
terrified. I'm terrified of the backlash. Yeah.
I have one for you guys then, and the people listening. Is cereal soup?
Oh, no.
What is soup?
What is soup? It's a
If you
liquid.
left the cereal in like the milk for long enough, then I would
Have you
say
ever-
yes. It
have-
has a soupy consistency.
Have you ever
So
had a
porridge.
milk? Have you ever had a milk? Sorry, have you ever had soup with milk in?
There's creamy
Oh,
soup.
probably, yeah.
It's got
Like
cream
you
in
have
it.
like
Cream
like,
and milk
you
is
have
very
cream,
similar.
Yeah,
Hmm.
broth. Like there would be stuff where like there's dairy in it.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't
like-
think it's soup,
Like if I
but,
had Weetabix, it's not a soup until I leave the Weetabix in too long, so it's kind of like just become a.
So
a
porridge? Would you say porridge is soup?
I'd say it's got a soupy consistency.
You have a soupy consistency, Tom.
Thank you.
Burn.
Oh, and Maya's back.
Oh my goodness, Amaya.
Hey, Maya.
I
How's everyone
was
doing?
just saying, oh my god, Amaya, I've never seen you in my life. he's catching on to the hype. He realised there's something he's missing out on.
That's right.
Okay, should we do a block it then? Should we do a
Why not?
chill one or a educational one?
What's down to Tom?
Up to
But
you,
one is
William
wrong,
and
one's
Ryan.
wrong. So
I'd say let's have some fun. They've worked really hard this week. Let's
Okay.
have some fun.
What should we do? You guys got any ideas? You want to do a Barbie one?
Oh yeah,
You want to do a Barbie one?
yeah. It's decided.
Okay.
let's
So
do
there's
it.
either Barbie Princess or Barbie Quiz. New movie included.
Barbie quiz.
Barbie
Yeah.
Quiz. All right. It's got 548 players. Let's see how this goes.
Jeez.
It's a real niche of Blook It right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's good. How's everyone doing on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the group chat.
Chuck it on.
Let us know if you think cereal is a type of soup, or if you don't.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. I fully don't think it is, but my last housemate used to, every time he'd make cereal, he'd say, "I'm having soup." I knew it. Amaya is the one that created the persona that
Oh no, that would make a lot of sense actually.
What make a
My
lot of
God.
sense.
is. Welcome back, Amaya.
Well,
My
I
was
name
the
is
creator. Pencil.
This is a flashback.
amazing.
Am you staying now? Or are you just like coming in for the breaks? She was here. They were here earlier, and they just
Just
vanished.
wants to beat us all at Blookit and then leave.
Yeah. Another day, another victory royale. Have you not seen that video?
No.
No, a victory royale for the OG.
Is it a bit
It's
cold
right.
in the house, Tom?
Like it's weird because like if I'm just wearing my turtleneck, then yes. If I'm wearing my coat, then no.
That's kind of how codes work.
I was going to
it
say,
is.
it's not that weird.
That's pretty normal, actually.
Yeah. What
Right.
What are your guys' nicknames? Just so I know.
Okay, I'm Winterhammer.
I'm Turtle. Wait, no, that's my bucket. I don't know who I am. Oh, I'm Sea Petal.
Sea Petal. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go then.
I'm Sparkle
let's
Song.
See who wins this Barbie quiz. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen the Barbie movie yet, so.
My goodness, this is so weird.
You guys wanted to do this?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you should have had a look through the questions first.
Are they strange?
Yeah.
I've just got, did Barbie and Ken break up? Wait, what? They broke up? Question mark. Right. Do I think like it's got very philosophical? Like it's got a question of whether they think Barbie's good for the world. I don't know.
What? This is ridiculous. This might be the most ridiculous one we've ever done.
I'm sorry.
How long was Barbie dating Ken for? I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
This is bad.
Is it what? Is it? It's bad or you're bad?
One of the options is when was the first Barbie made, and one of the options was 1600s.
Who knows? Maybe she's been around for a while.
Yeah. The history of Barbie, a deep dive.
A deep dive. Did you see Ryan Gosling's reaction to winning the Critics' Choice Award for Best Song?
No.
He just looks up and he looks like the most confused and bewildered and like disappointed. It's amazing. It's amazing. You should have a look at it.
I'll watch it immediately after this.
You should. Wow, I'm really glad we did this Barbie bucket.
So am I.
Me too. I'm learning a lot about Barbie.
So Barbie's
Oh, right.
19 years old, but she's been dating Ken for 62 years.
No, but that's the whole
Wow.
thing. In this, it needs like they never grow up. Mainly because they're
No, but
not
then how-
real.
But how have they been dating for 62 years?
Because they've been around for that long.
This is...
I'm about to win. Oh, I think I swapped the last minute. Have I just
Oh,
got
amazing.
first place? No, I didn't. I came 13th. I think I came second last.
Oh,
You're in 10th. Great. All right.
what
Well,
was
there we
I?
go.
I'm 8th. Oh, I know more Barbie than you, mate.
Over a 50-50 split.
Well, well done, guys. Love to see the
Good job.
Barbie knowledge is over 50%.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you revise your exam.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye, Ryan.
Have a great
It's the
weekend. See
single
you
worst
next
one
week.
we've ever done.
You too. Bye. It was the worst one. Damn.
Yeah. There's so many incorrect facts.
We're just gonna move on quickly, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do some maths. So today we are gonna have a look at types of numbers. We're going to go over a sort of number toolkit. Am I lagging a little bit? Let me know if I'm lagging a bit. Okay,
you're okay.
So there are different types of numbers, and we're going to have a look at BODMAS as well. Okay, so we have integers. What does integer mean? Let me know in the group chat. What does integer mean? What do we mean by integer? A whole number, exactly. Well done. So integers are a whole number, like minus 365, 0, 989, 1,234,567,890. They're all integers. And stuff that numbers that aren't integers are non-whole numbers, like 0.5, minus 1,000.1, 3/7, those sorts of things. They are not integers. And numbers are all either rational or irrational. Okay, so rational numbers can be integers, they can be fractions, and they can be terminating or recurring decimals, like 0.125. So those are rational numbers. Now, irrational numbers are messy. They can be written as fractions. They're never-ending, non-repeating decimals. We've also got square roots of positive integers are either integers or irrational. So if it's like square root of 10, that's an irrational number. And then we've got surds, that are numbers or expressions containing irrational roots. Okie dokie. BODMAS. What's BODMAS, guys? Can you write out what it is in the group chat? BODMAS or BIDMAS? Does the B stand for anything? Brackets. Yes, good job. So the B stands for brackets. Indices. Yes, indices. That's like something squared. That would be an indice. Something with a power to the power of something. Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Yes, it is the order in which we do our equations. So if something's in brackets, we do that first. If it's an indice, like sort of 5 squared, then we do that first. Okay, brilliant. All right, let's do some questions. Let's get into it. So basically what we're doing is just like a number toolkit. We're just going to wrap our minds around numbers. This is maths. We do a lot of algebra, we do a lot of graphs, we do a lot of all sorts of stuff. But today we're just getting down into the nitty-gritty basics. So given that 1,793 times 185 is 331,705. What is 1.793 times 1.85? Let me know in the chat. Joshua's got his answer in first. Let me know. Do you agree with Joshua? Do you disagree with Joshua? I'm just kidding. Okay, so Lee agrees with Joshua. Cool. So, yes, if you got 331.705, you are absolutely correct. What I like to do is take this like one step at a time. So what would 179.3 times 185 be? That would be 33170.5, and then you can literally just like start working back. So that would be 3,317.05, and then this one would be 331. 1.705. Cool, great. Okay, I think we're all on board for this one. We're gonna start chill, and then we're gonna get more and more difficult. So stick around. Okay, so use the fact that 5.4 times 36 equals 194.4 to work out these two. Cool. So yes, 19.44. Absolutely. It's just a tenth of this because we're timesing it by a tenth of that. So this would be 19.44. And so what would this be? Devine says 19,440. Cool. Do you agree with Devine? Yeah. Okay. A couple people agree. Wonderful. Yes, it is 19,440. That is absolutely right. So this is 194. We're timesing it by, so it'd be 5.4 times 360. We need a full I'm Just Ken cover right now. I think we'd get copyright strike, unfortunately. Okay, so I think we've got those ones down. Let's work this one out, guys. We're going through our basics today. Can you times numbers together? Serena, Joshua, quick. Now, don't not use a calculator. Wow, Joshua's quick. Yeah. I'm going to give the rest of us a second to figure it out. Well done if you got 86.01. You are absolutely correct. Joshua, what technique did you use to work it out? Let me know what technique you did in the group chat to figure it out. Not sure how to do it. Yeah, that's all good. So the way I do it is the grid method, which probably isn't the most like efficient way to do it, but it certainly is a way to do it. Estimation. Use a calculator or times it. Yeah, no, so we're not using a calculator. Camp and non-calculator. Yeah, cool. All right, so this is how you might do it. Take off my virtual background. Okay, so I've put it into a grid. So you can do 40 times 1 is 40, 1 times 7 is 7, 4 times 0.8 is 32. 5.6, 4 times 0.03, 0.12, 0.03 times by 7 is 0.21. And then I add all the values up together. Uh, 0.21. And that will get our nice answer that everyone agreed on, which is 86.01. The grid method. Okay, cool. Yes. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, great. Let's do our next question. Oh God, I'm just getting in my head now. Let's have a go at this one. 54.6 times 4.3. Serena, how'd you get that so quick? Let us know what your technique is in the chat. But good job. Five times 4 is 200. Yeah, I'm following. .6 times 0.3. Then and add them together. 50 times 4, and then 4.6 times 0.3. And add them together. So that's 200. PM, I'm suspicious of your roots. I'm suspicious of that. That doesn't work. So yeah, so Joshua's got it. You got to do 4 times 4, 4 times 0.3, 0.6 times 4, 0.6 times 0.3, and then add them all together, basically. Yeah. We'll use the grid method. But if you just do, I'll show you guys. So this was the Tom, could you enlarge the whiteboard? Okay, so this was what was proposed in the chat, which I find really interesting, is doing 54 times 4, or doing 50 times 4, and then just doing 4.6 times 0.3. 50 times 4 is 200. 4.6 times 0.3 is 1.36. And we know the answer isn't 201.36, right? So why not? Well, we haven't done the 4 times the 4.6. We haven't done the 0.3 times 4, right? So what you got to do is times each thing together and then add them up. Which ends up being 234.78. So well done if you got that. Okay, let's work on another type of question. See what I can find. Okay, so there are 14 boys and 12 girls in a class. Work out the total number of ways one boy and one girl can be chosen from the class. What do we think? Any ideas? Yeah, let me know if you've got any ideas of an answer or how to do it in the group chat. Okay, so Joshua said 168, and then I don't know. So it's non-confident, an non-confident 168. Do we agree with Joshua? Do we disagree? Ryan reckons 168 as well. Anyone else? Yeah, so what we're looking for is like every combination that could possibly be when there are 14 boys and 12 girls in a class. Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. So yes, all you do is times them together. Yeah, we're looking for every combination of two things. You times them together to get 168. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Well done if you got that. Yeah, you just times them together. Yeah. I'm trying to think of maybe a good explanation. If we had 2 blue balls and 2 red balls, oh no, that wouldn't quite work. We need like different combinations of things. But anyway. Cool. Yeah, exactly. Well done. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Does this make sense? You just times them together. Total number of ways they could be chosen. You just times them together. Let me know if that makes sense in the group chat. Yeah. And then when you're ready, write the reciprocal of 5/6. Cool. So everyone seems pretty confident for this one, that it's 6/5. Yeah, that's right. So if we have 5/6, the way you find the reciprocal is put 1 over it. So in this case, it would be 1 over 5/6, which just ends up being 6/5. So yeah, you just swap them over when it's the reciprocal. Cool. Seems like we know that one. So that's good. That's a bit too easy. Give one reason why 0 is an even number. Quite like these questions. After this, we're going to go over to some more harder questions. Why is 0 an even number? Oh, this is good. Amaberla's a little bit behind just because of the stream, I imagine. 6 over 5. Because 0, 2, and 4. Is that an explanation? Is 0 not both? No, 0 is an even number. Aha, Joshua, nice. 0 plus 1 equals 1. That's an odd number. I like that. It comes before 1. Yeah, nice. It starts the sequence of even numbers. Yes. It's just in the sequence. Sure. 0 minus 1 equals minus 1, which is an odd number. Yes, nice. Okay, so thinking of an example of a sum that can be done with even numbers. So other minus 1 and 1 are either side of 0. Yeah, it's in between two odd numbers. Nice, love that. Numbers that end in 0 are even. Yeah. 0 remainder when divided by 2. So if something's got a 0 at the end, you can divide it by 2. You can divide 0 by 2 itself. The next number in the pattern would be 2, 4, 6, 8. Add an even to it, and you get an even number. Add an odd to it, and you get an odd number. Cool. Yeah, well done if you got that. Love the answers coming in there at the end. Okay, let's do some more questions. So, on to medium questions now. We've got another sort of 10 minutes or so of maths. Then we're going to do a break, and then we'll do some physics. So, Gary's electricity bill. What we've all been waiting for. Let's get some hype in the chat for Gary's electricity bill. So, okay. We've got an old reading of 7,095 units. We've got a new reading of 7,155 units. The price per unit is 15p. How much does Gary have to pay for his energy bills this month? This is actually maths that applies to the real world. Wow. Who knew? Who knew? How much does Gary have to pay? It's obviously before the energy crisis, it's this, because he's not having to pay all that much. Poor Gary. We're all feeling it, Gary. Don't worry. £15? Yep, 60. And then what's 60 times 15? Because it's 15p per unit, and there's 60 units. Let me know when you've got an answer in. Even if you don't know if it's right, it's good to pop answers in. See what happens. 95. We'll go non-calculator, yeah? Not quite. So we need to find the difference first. So this is the old reading and the new reading. How much does he have to pay? So we're going to figure out how many units of energy he's used. 60, so he's used 60, and then we do 60 times 0.15 if you want to do it in pounds, or 15 if you want to do it in pence. But this will get it straight into pounds, which is why I'm doing that. Save a step. And it is £9. Well done if you got £9. I'll also take 900 pence. But yeah, £9 is better. Great. Well done if you got that. Tracy is going to choose a main course and a dessert in the cafe. She can choose from 8 main courses and 7 desserts. Tracy says that to work out the number of different ways of choosing main courses and desserts, you add 8 and 7. Is Tracy correct? You must give a reason for your answer. Is Tracy correct? Right, no one's allowed to insult Tracy, all right? Oh, wait, Joshua, what did I say? Not allowed to insult Tracy. She might have dyscalculia or something, all right? Call her an idiot. Goodness gracious me. Very rude. No insulting Tracy. That's where I put my foot down. Poor Tracy. I'll take silly goose. It's all right. Take a silly goose. Okay. Times not add. Love that. Well done. Yes, exactly. Yes. So instead of adding them, you times them together. Easy mistake to make. She's just a silly goose. So what would it be, guys? It would be 56, wouldn't it? Great. All right. Well done, guys. She's wrong because you've got to time them together instead. 12 teams playing a competition. Each team plays each other team exactly once. What's the total number of games played? Any ideas? This is difficult. So Joshua said 11. OPM, he said 144. But it's not like 12 teams. If 12 teams were playing 12 teams, then that would be 144. But 12 teams are playing each other. Okay? 12 teams are playing each other. So we've got to do 12 times 11 to get 130. Because then every team, there are 12 teams that can play 11 other teams, right? 12 teams that can play 11 other teams. So we do 12 times 11. But that counts each game twice. I haven't seen a correct answer in so far. Or have I? No. Is it too easy? Is it? Because the answer isn't 132. So there are 12 teams that can play 11 other teams. But then this is counting every game twice because 2 teams only need to play each other once. So we have to divide that by 2 to get 66. Ashna, well done. Yeah, but if all teams played 11 matches, they'd be playing each other twice, is the problem. So you've got to divide it by 2. Or you could say the first team have got 11 games to play. The second team's then got 10 games to play because they've already done the first team. So you do 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And that gets 66. Because if every team was... We've got 12 teams, yeah, that can play each other 11 times. But this counts each game twice. Because you're counting each game twice if you've got 12 teams that play each other 11 times. And that's why we divide it by 2. Okay, so another way of doing it is the first team have 11 games to play, right? Because they're one team, so they got another 11. And then the next team have got 10 games to play because they've already been up against that team. And then the third team will have 9 games to play. Yeah. Because it's going to be one less each time. Yeah. And that equals 66. Does this make a bit of sense? So that's why we divide it by 2. Okay, let's do one more question. Okay, so if we had 16 teams in a league, each team played 2 matches against each of the other teams, work out the total number of matches played. So this time they played 2 matches against all the other teams. Joshua said 240. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Isa has said 16 times 15. But then has got 96 from timesing 16 by 15, seemingly. Orion says 60. Okay, so there are 16 teams. They're going to play 15. So 16 teams play against each other 15 times. So the total games played is going to be 16 times 15. That'll be already times by 2. So that is just the answer because they play each other twice. So that's 240. So yeah, that's the answer, 240, because they're playing each other twice. Okay, two matches against each of the other players. It's quite difficult to wrap your head around this one. So yeah, but if you got 240, well done. Cool. Let's do a break. Back over to Tom, who's going to do a Kahoot or a Bucket.
I haven't been given the Kahoots to do stuff. There's many buckets, but we can do a bucket.
Let's do it.
What do you want to do, William? Do you want to do a
Anthony, Tom, you're the host.
I guess we can do an educational one, yeah? So anyone that wants to do physics and warm up, this is a good chance. So can we do transformation graphs, says Orion.
Yeah, we can do transforming graphs. It's all good. Start another list.
No, we're not doing anime. We already did anime the other day. Don't know why everyone's piping up now.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
You finding a good physics one?
I am. I hope.
So yeah, the people are piping up now. Anime, football, Mario, football. Yeah, Premier League, Mario. Guess the movie.
All of you were asleep. It's weird how all of you just seem to come back.
Amazing, isn't it? They come alive. Yeah, we're not doing a football one.
No, I would not know any of the answers.
If there's two things I stand for, it's not insulting. The
Tracy.
random what was Tracy? Thank you, Tom.
Tracy.
It's not insulting Tracy.
Well, obviously, like
not
you don't want to insult anyone, so you don't want to get their names wrong. There's so many names to remember.
Exactly. I would never get a name wrong or forget a name.
Poor Lainey, or whatever her name was.
Sad stuff. What is going on in the chat?
I want to cook. Let me cook. Let me cook.
Gosh. Sea Giver, Dragon Staff, Life Fountain, Dark Freezer, Dark. All right, you can join using the link, or you can go to play.blooket.com and type in the code. There's also a QR code. We're going to do this for a bit, and then we are going to do some physics. In physics, we're going to look at motion graphs, distance and velocity time graphs. That's what we're going to have a look at. Right.
Okay, we'll give them like 20 seconds for people to pile on in.
Sounds good.
So I'm seeing 26 people right now in the video.
Oh. All right.
There's 10, so that's pretty good. All right, let's go.
Let's do it. If I do really badly in this, it'll be a bit embarrassing, won't it?
Very embarrassing.
I've got double gold twice on 0.
Yeah, so you might lose just by pure coincidence.
But then you'll be able to have a look in the report and see what
exactly. So yeah. So it's not about winning; it's about having the highest percent now. According to Will.
Exactly. I'm just going for percentage now.
Yeah.
These are good questions.
Yeah. So this all should be AQA question, like focused. So
okay. I think all of these are relevant across the exam boards, though.
What's good.
Depend on. Yeah.
Luckily, like the answers are very long, and so it normally has like the question in the answer somewhere.
Yeah. Doing quite well so far.
I think I'm on 100% right now.
See, I got one wrong.
30 seconds left.
Because I didn't read the question properly.
Yeah, see, this is why it's a good idea to RTQ.
falls. Nice. Oh no! Anyway, I swapped with someone in second, and I was in first.
Oh.
Damn. All right, whatever. Unless someone got, I think I might have got quite a good.
Let's have a look.
I got 95 because
That's a pretty good percent.
Yeah, well done, guys. Oh,
Like,
Dragon Stuff. Percentage loaded. Well done.
Is that you?
No, I'm Sea Giver in fourth.
That's 42 questions right.
Wow, quick. And only one wrong. Flippin' heck. Well done. That's very good.
Oh, look at that.
Very, very good. Well done.
There's me at the bottom. 16 right.
Unicorn Head, yeah. Although Hawk Rider got the best percentage.
That was me.
Oh, there you go. They're right at the bottom. Very sad.
I was a lot slower. Somehow, Dragon Stuff. Don't know how you can get 43 questions.
No idea how you managed that. Yeah.
That is an impressive statistic. Right
Very impressive. All right, let's do some physics. And the next time we do it, it'll be even more impressive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who you? All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is terminal velocity. What is terminal velocity? Let me know in the chat. What is terminal velocity? Afaz is terminal velocity. Who is... Yes, what is terminal velocity? I want to see it. Lee spelled velocity wrong. Sorry, Lee. The max speed of an object. Is that right? Is terminal velocity the maximum speed of an object? Speed midway through? Maximum speed of an object? Are we sure? A lot isn't terminal velocity. Okay, so it's the maximum speed, well, the maximum speed of an object falling. Okay? Maximum speed of an object that's falling. So what happens when something falls? Well, let's have a look. So here we have a banknote falling. And, well, right now it's not falling at all. Its velocity is 0. And then we drop it. And 1 second in, we've got some air resistance as well. 2 seconds in, the air resistance is matching the force that's pulling it down. And so they equal. They equal, and it becomes, it has reached its terminal velocity. So terminal velocity is reached when the force of air resistance equals the weight of the object. So if you jumped out of an airplane, hopefully with a parachute, you accelerate and you accelerate and you accelerate until you reach your terminal velocity. And at that point, the force of the air resistance is equal to the force pulling you down, and you have a net zero force. You are just speeding down at the exact same speed. There is no resultant force. Now, you've got to remember, force causes acceleration. So if it's a stationary object and you add a force, it's going to accelerate. Something that's going along at the same speed has equal forces. The air resistance equals the driving force. Okay? And so as we get faster and faster and faster falling, the air resistance increases and increases and increases until the force of gravity equals the force of air resistance, and you have reached terminal velocity. You will keep going at the same speed. So let's have a look and see what this says. So air resistance always opposes the motion of an object. It increases if an object speeds up. It increases with the area or the size of the object, and increases with the density of the air. Now, drag force depends on speed, size, and shape of an object. It depends on the density, the viscosity, and compressibility of the fluid. It increases the density and viscosity. Increasing the density and viscosity increases the drag force. So the most important factor to consider when reducing the drag force is the design of the object. By keeping the shape of an object streamlined, fluid can follow across it easily, thus reducing the drag. Okay, so here we have our terminal velocity of this banknote. So here's velocity. And we have our seconds here. It increases in velocity and increases and increases. So the acceleration, it accelerates and accelerates less and less and less because there's more air resistance until it reaches its terminal velocity and it stays going the same speed onwards. Okay, is this making sense, guys? Let me know in the group chat. Does terminal velocity make sense to you? It is not the maximum speed an object can go. It is the maximum speed an object can fall. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we need to have a look at distance time graphs and velocity time graphs as well. So distance over time. What is the gradient of this graph? What is the gradient of this graph? As in, what does it represent? Is the gradient distance? Is the gradient time? Is the gradient velocity? Is it speed? Let me know in the group chat. If we were to find the gradient at any point, what would it be? What would the gradient be? Speed, exactly. It would be the speed because distance divided by time equals speed. And if we were finding the gradient, we would be doing distance divided by time. So the gradient gives us the speed. The flat horizontal sections mean that the object is stationary. Straight lines mean the velocity is constant. Steeping curves means acceleration. Leveling off curves means deceleration. You can find the instantaneous speed at any point by drawing a tangent to the line. So there we go. If we wanted to find the speed at this exact point, you would draw a tangent to the line, and then you would find the gradient of the tangent to the line at that point. And then we've got velocity time graphs, which are different. So what would the gradient give us in this situation? What would the gradient give us on a velocity time graph? What does the gradient give us? On a velocity time graph, not a distance time graph. Yeah, it's a change in y, change in x. So on a velocity time graph, the gradient is the acceleration. So the horizontal section shows a constant speed. Steeper the curve, greater the acceleration. Uphill sections are acceleration. Downhill sections are decelerations. Curves are changes in acceleration. Area under the graph is the displacement of an object. Okay, so in a velocity time graph, the area under the graph is the displacement. All right, let's do some questions. Let's get into it. So here we've got a skydiver jumping out of an aeroplane, and we've got their motion in a velocity time graph. At which point do they reach terminal velocity? At which point does the skydiver reach terminal velocity? Point A, point B, or point C? Let me know in the chat. Well done, Amabola, for saying acceleration. Joshua says C. The rest of you agree with Joshua. Do you disagree? Let me know. Yeah, it is C. Absolutely. Yes. So here we go. They've got a velocity of 0. Then they accelerate. The rate of acceleration reduces as they increase because there's more and more air resistance until the force of the air resistance equals the force of gravitational pull, and it reaches its terminal velocity, staying at the same velocity. And so that is C. Absolutely. Great. Okay, so a skydiver travels 4,000 meters in 50 seconds. What is their average speed? What is their average speed? Anyone got an answer for this one? Lee says 80. First answer in the chat. Do you agree with Lee? Do you disagree? $80. What are your units, Lee? Yes, keep it. Do we agree with Lee? Let me know. Meters per second, yeah. Yeah, so we've got a distance of 4,000 meters. We've got a time of 50 seconds. Speed equals distance divided by time. So we do 4,000 divided by 50, and we get 80 meters per second. So well done if you got that. Well done, Orion and Likith. Okay, what is presented by the area under a velocity time graph? What is the area in below a velocity time graph? What are you confused about, Tabitha? I'm always happy to go through questions. So we've got a speed. This is just speed equals distance divided by time. Distance was 4,000. Time is 50. So we do our distance, 4,000, divided by our time, 50, to get 80. And it's meters per second because this is in meters and in seconds. So our answer will be meters per second. Distance traveled, asks Lee. Is it? Yes. State what's represented by the area under a velocity time graph. Lee reckons it is the distance traveled. What do you guys think? Do you agree with Likith? Do you disagree? I only know Likith's name because of when we were all on Zoom. He's an OG. Likith's been around for a while. Nor's been around for a while. Opayemi's been around for a while. Amabola. You reckon it's acceleration? The area under a velocity time graph? Orion's not sure. So the area under a velocity time graph is, drum roll please, Tom. Perfect. It is The distance. It's this displacement. It's the displacement. Oh, look at that. Displacement. Distance in a given direction. So area under a velocity time graph is displacement. Thank you for that drum roll, Tom. That was beautiful. Okay, so we've got a journey on a bus. Complete the sentence. So let's just have a look at what's going on here, right? So this bus is accelerating, yeah, up to a speed of 10 meters per second. It's staying there for between 5 and 13 seconds, so 8 seconds. Then it decelerates to a stop. Then it just stops. Then it accelerates again and gets to 5 meters per second and continues. So, between points O and A, what is the bus? Between points O and A, the bus is what? What is the right word to fill in the gap? Choose one from the box. Between O and A, the bus is... increasing in speed? What's another word for increasing speed? What's another word for increasing speed? So increasing in speed is right, but there's a better word for it. There's a singular word, accelerating. Yes, exactly. But we've got to use stuff in the box. So yes, increasing in speeds. It's annoying they didn't just put accelerating. But hey ho, that's life. Between B and C, the bus is what? Is it decreasing in speed at a constant speed? So we're now going between B and C. Between B and C, the bus is what? Decreasing in speed, yes. Okay, I think we've got the point. Let's do some slightly more difficult questions and move on. So, we have some children launch a toy water rocket into the air. Here's a displacement over time graph. Compare the rocket's average speed as it travels upwards to its average speed as it travels back down. Ooh, it's a 3 marker. What is it? Compare its average speed going up to its average speed going down. Look, it says, I don't know. Maybe this will make it a bit easier to work out. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, going up is fast and down is slow. Is it? Is it slower than it goes up? How long does it take for the rocket to go 25 meters up? Let me know in the group chat. How long does it take for the rockets to go 25 meters up in the air? How long does it take, guys, for it to go 25 meters up? Or to the maximum height it goes? 2.5 seconds. I've even drawn it out. 3 seconds. Yeah, great. Okay. So it takes 3 seconds to get to its maximum height. Yeah. 3 seconds to go 25 meters up. How long does it take to go 25 meters down? The speed for it going up. Three seconds. Okay, so if it takes 3 seconds for it to go 25 meters up and it takes 3 seconds for it to go 25 meters down, compare those average speeds. Yeah? 25 meters in 3 seconds. 25 meters in 3 seconds. Any... Yeah, look, takes 3 seconds for it to go up to 25 meters. Oh, just over 25 meters. Okay, fine. And then it takes 3 seconds for it to go below. Yeah? So it's actually 27.5 meters. Equal acceleration. We're not asking about acceleration. We're asking about speed, the average speed. They have the same average speed going up and down. Tom, can you highlight that? Oppiemi? Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job. It's the same. It's the same. It takes 3 seconds for them to go 27.5 meters. And then it takes another 3 seconds for it to go 27.5 meters down. Okay? 3 seconds for it to go 27.5 meters up. 3 seconds for it to go 27.5 meters down. If it goes, it's going to be the same speed. Yeah? It's going to be the same speed. It's accelerating at different amounts at different points, Orion. No, the speed, the rate of change of speed is different. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, that's why I've been explaining it. The average speed as it travels upwards is the average speed as it travels down, because it travels the same amount of time, the same amount of distance in the same amount of time. It takes 3 seconds to go 27.5 meters as it goes up, and it takes 3 seconds to do 27.5 meters as it goes down. I'm moving on. It's the same. So explain how the velocity of the rocket could be found at any given time from the distance time graph. How can the velocity of the rocket be found at any given time? How can we find the velocity of the rocket at any given time on the distance time graph? I'm going to clear away this. How could we find the velocity, guys? What's the velocity in a distance time graph? How do we find it? Everyone said it earlier. Oof. Chat's gone silent. Speed is not distance times time. Speed is distance divided by time. Under the tangent, though. Okay, so a tangent is good. Right. Speed is distance divided by time. Yeah? Distance divided by time. So you would find the gradient of the line at any point. You'd find the gradient of the line, because the gradient of the line will give you the distance divided by time. Okay? So, yeah. So I'm finding the gradient of this tangent, and then that would give you the speed. You would use distance divided by time. Yeah? Does this make sense? The gradient of a distance time graph is the speed, because speed is distance, y-axis, divided by time, x-axis. And the gradient is the y-axis divided by the x-axis. So the gradient is speed, is distance divided by time. So the gradient is the speed. All right. Be nice in the group chat, guys. Okay, so let's calculate the acceleration of the lift during the first 2 seconds. Show you're working clearly and give your answer with the appropriate units. Okay, what is the acceleration of the lift in the first 2 seconds? Let me know in the group chat. Yeah, but also we know what like we said at the start, right? The area under a velocity time graph is the displacement, and the gradient in a velocity time graph is the acceleration, okay? Thank you, Ryan. Good job. Yes, it is 2.5 meters per second squared. So we just find the gradient of this line. The gradient of a velocity time graph is acceleration. That would be 5 up. This is how we find the gradient. We find the difference in y divided by the difference in x. So you do 5 divided by 2, which obviously equals 5 over 2, or 2.5. Meters per second per second. Meters per second squared. Okay. Next question. Explain the motion of the lift between 4 to 6 seconds. So what's the motion like between 4 to 6 seconds? What's the motion between 4 to 6? Only sort of 10 or so minutes left for all of our online lessons this week. You can make it, guys. Let's do this. So Lee's got an answer in. Joshua and Lee. Nice. Nice. Yes, it is decelerating. Well done. It's a constant deceleration. Love that. Yes, it's accelerating. It's accelerating at the exact same rate. So it's actually got an acceleration of minus 2.5 meters per second, or minus 2.5 meters per second squared. Yeah. Good job. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This is a distance time graph. When is the train traveling faster? Is it traveling faster between A and B or faster between B and C? When is the train traveling faster? Is it traveling faster between A and B or between B and C? Okay, so what is the speed, guys, in a distance time graph? What can we use to find the speed? I really want to hone down on this. The speed is the gradient, okay? And the steeper the gradient is, the bigger the gradient is, yeah? Does that make sense? The steeper it is, the bigger the gradient is. So the bigger the gradient, the quicker it's going, the more distance it's traveling per time. So, more distance for less time. Exactly. It's between A and B. Our gradient is the speed. It's going 15 meters per second. It's 1,500 divided by 100 seconds. Between this one and this one, it's going 1,000 divided by 150. So less. Makes sense? Going 400 meters per second, 40 meters per second. Okay, cool. So the train is traveling faster between A and B than it is between B and C, because you can see it's traveling more distance per time. And on a distance time graph, the gradient is the speed. It's got a bigger gradient here, so it's got more speed between A and B. Okay, great. Calculate the speed between A and B. Calculate the speed between A and B. I've already been through this. I went through it quickly. Give you guys a chance. I'll even give you a hand. Speed between A and B. Okay, interesting. We've got 1.5 meters per second squared. Everyone's putting squared. Guys, what do we measure speed in? Also, people put 1.5 to 150. Yeah, we measure speed in meters per second, guys. Speed and acceleration absolutely are different. Yes. Yeah, 15 meters per second. That's right. 1,500 divided by 100 equals 15. And we're working with meters and seconds. So it is meters per second. Okay. All right. Next. That's acceleration, Joshua. The units for acceleration is meters per second squared. because it's like the rate of change of speed is acceleration. So it's meters per second squared. Okay. Meters per second is speed. The amount of meters traveled per seconds. Okay, here we've got another one. Calculate the distance traveled in the first 6 hours. What is the distance traveled in the first 6 hours? I'm going to break it up. Distance traveled in the first 6 hours. What do you guys think? Any ideas? 120 kilometers an hour. I'm looking for distance. I'm looking for distance. Do you think 120 kilometers an hour would be 4.32 times 10 to that meters per second? That'd be faster than the speed of light. You've gone a little bit off there, Joshua, I'm afraid. Oh, yeah, yes, yes. Divide it by 60, don't times it by 60. But also, that's not the question. No, we don't use that, Orion. Okay, this is one of the rules. What I was saying earlier. What is the area under a velocity time graph? The area under a velocity time graph is the displacement. That makes sense, right? Distance is speed times time. Displacement is velocity times time. So the area under a velocity time graph is displacement. So we are meant to find the area. Okay? We're meant to find the area. So area of a triangle is half base times height. So we've got 2 times 2 times 120 divided by 2. So it's just 120 for our first bit. We've got 1 times 120. So it's also 120 for this bit, which makes sense. And then we've got 3 times 120 divided by 2. 360, 180 for this bit. Yeah, so you see that I'm finding the area underneath each of them. And then we can add them together, and that'll give us the amount of kilometers. Has anyone got an answer for this? Yeah. We find the area under the graph. So I've split it up into 3 sections, and I've done 120 times 2 divided by 2 to find this area. Oh, hold on. To find this area. And then I've done 120 times 1 for this area. And then I've done 3 times 120 divided by 2 to find this area. Yeah, sorry. Couldn't see the question. Yeah, so I've split it up into 3 separate bits. Does that make sense to find the area underneath? Yeah, so it would be 420 kilometers. Yeah, that's right. Well done. Okay, explain why the total displacement after 11 hours is less than our answer to part C. Why is our total displacement after 11 hours less? 180 is the area of this triangle. It's 120 times 3, which gets 360 for this like whole thing if it would be a square. And then we divide that by 2 to get 180. That's our area of a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. 120 times 6 divided by 2. Good question. Right. Why is the total displacement after 11 hours less than our answer to part C? Why is our total displacement less after 11 hours if it was more than that after 6 hours? Why is our total displacement less, guys? Okay, so this is what's going on in this graph, right? Let me delete my annotation so we can just have a look at it. That would be a negative area, by the way, because it would be minus 180 times by 5 divided by 2. So the train is going, accelerating, going at this speed, then it's decelerating, and then it turns around. It goes in the other direction. Do we see how it's going minus 80 kilometers an hour? That means it's going 80 kilometers an hour in the opposite direction. That is why the displacement is less at the end than it is halfway through, because the train has turned around. It's gone in the opposite direction. It's gone minus 80 kilometers an hour in the right direction, meaning it's gone 80 kilometers an hour in the other direction. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. We are at the end of the session. Well done, guys. Well done for making it to the end. You've done it. You've done physics till 8:30 on a Thursday evening. You've smashed it. You've done well. Let's continue to keep the group chat relevant and not spammy. But well done. I'm a particular well done for everyone who put answers in the chat and engaged. You are brilliant.
I agree. Enough said. Drop the mic. You can't even see me holding the mic because it's just invisible. It's gone. Boom. There we go. Don't drop that. That'd be a bit more expensive.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Yeah. Yep. Daniel's really getting ahead of it. Now, ciao for now squared.
Wow, squared.
Mm.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Yeah. See you all next week for more of this fun educational content. Ciao for now. You're getting a salute that you can't see. Ciao for now squared. Is that what we're doing now? Okay.